Do you believe your choices are truly your own? That every decision you make comes solely from your own will? What if I told you that, in reality, your choices might be guided without you even noticing? Not by a visible force, but by invisible systems that drain your energy, capture your attention, and keep you trapped in a cycle of mental exhaustion. Free will may be nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion. This manipulation happens so subtly that you don't even realize it. Arthur Schopenhauer, one of the most influential philosophers of modern times, once said, "A man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills." In other words, we may feel like we're in control, but our decisions are shaped by factors we barely understand. Think about how many times you believed you were making a purely rational decision, only to later realize that your choices were influenced by something external. An ad that kept appearing, an innocent-sounding comment from someone close to you, or a trend that took over your social media feed. What seems like a spontaneous thought might actually be the result of carefully designed stimuli meant to guide you in a specific direction. This happens because our brain operates largely on autopilot. Neuroscience studies show that most of our decisions are made before we even become aware of them. In other words, by the time you think you're reflecting on a choice, your subconscious has already decided for you, based on patterns programmed over time, whether by your culture, the media, or subliminal repetitions you never even noticed. But what if this programming isn't just a natural consequence of the environment, but something intentionally directed? If something determines where your attention is focused, then it inevitably also determines where your energy flows. This brings us to a crucial question. Where is your energy going? Are you truly investing your life force in what you want? Or are you merely fueling invisible systems that thrive on your distraction and exhaustion? Invisible forces are constantly at work, shaping your perceptions, desires, and even your beliefs about what is right or wrong. Noam Chomsky described a concept called manufacturing consent. According to him, the media, propaganda, and power systems create narratives that make people believe they are choosing freely when, in reality, they have already been led to the only viable option. And this doesn't just happen in politics or consumerism. It also influences how your mind responds to the world. Think about how you spend your time and energy. Did you really choose to spend hours on social media? Or were you guided into it by a system that exploits your craving for dopamine and validation? The logic behind manipulation is simple. Capture your attention, control your focus, and ultimately redirect your energy to whatever benefits these systems the most. With every click, with every thought subtly influenced, a small piece of your autonomy is drained without you even noticing. But there's an even deeper level to this manipulation. And this is where we enter the concept of energy theft, which goes beyond the mind and directly affects your life force. If you've ever felt inexplicably exhausted after a conversation, being in a specific environment, or even spending time on social media, know that this is no coincidence. There is an invisible flow of energy constantly being exchanged, and most of the time you're losing more than you're receiving. Everything in the universe is energy, and this energy is always being transferred from one place to another. However, while some interactions are healthy and balanced, others act as true energy thefts. People, systems, and even environments can function as energy drainers, leaving you depleted without you realizing it. Every time your attention is captured by something that doesn't nourish you, your energy is also being drained. This happens when you get lost in superficial content, engage in exhausting discussions, or stay in emotionally heavy environments. The mental fatigue caused by excessive stimuli also contributes to this depletion, since the brain consumes large amounts of energy to process information, especially when we are distracted. But where does all this energy go? Does it simply disappear? Or is it being collected by something greater? If our energy is constantly being drained, that means something or someone is feeding on it. And the more tired and distracted you are, the more vulnerable you become to this invisible cycle of exhaustion. If there's one thing control systems want, it's your attention. In today's world, attention is one of the most valuable resources that exist. Big corporations, social media platforms, and even people around you compete for this precious asset because where your focus goes, your energy follows. And whoever controls your attention controls your reality. Have you ever noticed how, by the end of the day, you often feel mentally drained, even if you haven't done anything physically exhausting? That's because your attention has been fragmented throughout the day. Every notification, every alarming news story, every online controversy chips away at your focus. Over time, your mind loses the ability to sustain concentration for long periods, directly impacting your capacity to make conscious decisions. Mental exhaustion isn't just a random side effect. It's a mechanism that makes people easier to manipulate. When you're tired, your mind seeks shortcuts, accepting information without questioning and making impulsive decisions. The result? You become an easy target for narratives that tell you what to think, what to consume, and even how to feel. When your attention is scattered and your focus is hijacked, your energy is also being drained. You're not just mentally tired, you're literally losing life force. The unexplained fatigue you often feel doesn't just come from your daily activities, but from the constant theft of your energy through the manipulation of your attention. Now that you understand how focus is a tool of control, we need to talk about the feeling of continuous exhaustion and why so many people feel like they're always out of energy, even without an apparent reason. Have you ever woken up feeling tired, even after a full night's sleep? This exhaustion isn't just a side effect of modern life. It's part of a system designed to keep you weak, distracted, and easier to control. Mental and emotional exhaustion has a hidden cause. When your attention is constantly fragmented and your focus is hijacked, your mind wears out without you even noticing. We are exposed to an endless stream of stimuli, from negative news to social media platforms designed to trap us in addictive cycles. Your brain has to process all of this, and that activity consumes massive amounts of energy. On top of that, fear and anxiety, constantly fueled by these external influences, contribute to this state of depletion. Your body remains in a constant state of alertness, triggering stress responses that drain your vital energy. This exhaustion isn't just physical. It's also emotional and even spiritual. The longer you stay trapped in this cycle, the harder it becomes to regain your strength and mental clarity. And the more exhausted you are, the less capable you become of questioning the reality around you. You slip into passivity, accepting narratives and patterns without resistance. Have you noticed how, in moments of extreme fatigue, you make automatic decisions and follow the path of least resistance, even when it's not the best choice for you? Could this collective exhaustion be fueling an invisible system that feeds on our vital energy? If your energy is constantly being drained, where is it going? This is the central question behind what is known as energy harvesting, a phenomenon in which invisible systems feed off your life force without you even realizing it. And this doesn't just happen on a psychological level, but also on a subtle, energetic level. The concept of energy harvesting can be observed in many ways. On the most basic level, it occurs when companies and digital platforms capture your attention and profit from it, converting your time and engagement into money and power. But that's just the surface of the issue. On a deeper level, this theft of energy happens through emotional and mental manipulation. Fear, anger, anxiety, and despair are emotional states that drain your life force and keep you trapped in cycles of exhaustion. The longer you remain in these states, the more vulnerable you become. David Hawkins explains that every emotion has a specific energetic frequency. Emotions like fear, guilt, and shame vibrate at extremely low levels, while states like love, gratitude, and enlightenment operate at much higher frequencies. If there is a system constantly pushing you toward feelings of fear and insecurity, whether through the media, consumer culture, or the chaos of social media, It suggests that there is a hidden interest in keeping you operating at a low vibration. But who or what feeds on this energy? Beyond the systems that profit from your attention and mental control, many spiritual traditions speak of the existence of forces or entities that feed on human emotional energy. This might sound abstract, but the principle is simple. Just as plants absorb sunlight to survive, certain forces appear to absorb the denser vibrations generated by negative emotions. Have you ever noticed how certain events or situations seem designed to provoke mass outrage and division? How some conflicts never seem to be resolved but instead recycle into new forms? The more people remain trapped in states of stress, division, and confusion, the more energy is generated and diverted into something they cannot see. You can learn to protect your energy, break free from this game, and cut ties with the systems that feed off your vitality. But to do so, you must first reclaim control over your mind and your attention. How can you break free from this cycle and regain control over your own mind and energy? The first step is awareness. You can only change what you can perceive. Once you recognize the mechanisms of manipulation that hijack your attention and drain your life force, you've already taken a major step toward liberation. This means questioning your automatic reactions, noticing when you are being swept away by a wave of negative emotions, and asking yourself, is this energy working for me or against me? Protect your energy. Just as we shield our bodies from external harm, we must also learn to protect our energetic state. Avoiding constant exposure to content and environments filled with fear, chaos, and pessimism is essential. Have you ever noticed how different you feel after spending a day in nature compared to hours consuming alarming news? This happens because your energetic field directly responds to what you absorb. Choosing where to focus your attention is an act of power. Strengthen your internal vibration. David Hawkins demonstrated that emotions like gratitude, love, and compassion vibrate at much higher frequencies than fear and anxiety. When you actively work to raise your vibration, whether through meditation, silence, connecting with uplifting people, or simply avoiding unnecessary conflicts, you become less vulnerable to external manipulation. Reclaim your focus and intention. When your mind is scattered, your energy is fragmented. But when you intentionally direct your attention toward what truly matters, you regain your power. The final question for you to reflect on is, who is deciding where your energy goes, you or the system trying to control it? The answer to this question has the power to completely change the way you live your life.